retrograde.
Yes, very classic. Okay, so reintroduce Katel. She's amazing. Say hello, ladies, and we're gonna get into it right away, okay?
Yeah,
Go ahead.
amazing. Hello, my loves. How's it, meowsed? Thank you so much for that wonderful introduction, Leah. I'm so excited to be here today. So my name is Kato. I'm originally from Belgium, but I live in Cape Town in South Africa. Has anyone ever been to South Africa? Drop a yes in the chat. Hello, hello. Yes, wonderful. And oh, also from Belgium. Or you have visited Belgium, Bettina. Okay, 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 wonderful. Been to Joburg, yeah. So yeah, to introduce myself in the most astrological way possible, I am a Leo sun with a Pisces rising and a Capricorn moon. So yeah, business is basically my love language. I'm pretty intense. I'm a secret psychopath when it comes to business. I have my Mars in Scorpio. And I actually started out my business as an astrologer. And then eventually, I pivoted into business coaching. So I first started out with like helping people to explore and discover like what is your soul's purpose? What are your spiritual assignments? Why the hell are you here, right, in this lifetime? And now I basically teach them of like, okay, how can we build a profitable business that is in alignment with your soul's blueprint and your purpose and your dharma? So I'm very passionate about that. But you can do so many things with astrology. And before we dive into that, I also just want to like check in, like, what is your understanding when it comes to astrology? Drop it in the chat. Like, are you an absolute beginner? Or you have received a reading before, or you've done a course before, or you're an expert and you got your PhD in astrology. I don't know if that's possible, but in my world it is. Oh, astrologer here. Amazing, Veronique. That's wonderful. Let me know for how long you've been doing it, Veronique. Beginner, only know my sun, moon, and rising sign. Okay, exciting. I work a bit with human design and astrology. So now my house is, yeah, I've been doing it for 5 years now. Amazing. Evolutionary astrologer. Yes, Naomi, I know you. Hello, hello. So lovely to see you here. Welcome, my love. Yes, I've given you a reading before. I would say I'm intermediate. Okay, amazing. So, what we're going to do today is I don't want to spend too much time explaining like what it is and how it works, but let me just quickly share my screen. So, this is how the natal chart works. I see that a lot of you are like quite familiar with astrology. There's a couple of beginners. But to simplify the whole process, astrology is really a tool for self-empowerment, right? That's really how I see it. It is basically the map of your highest consciousness and it shows you what your highest potential is. But you got to understand that you always have freedom of choice and free will to do whatever the fuck you want to do in this lifetime. It's your life. And I'm all about pro ownership, right? I can only see potentialities in the chart. So this is my chart right here. So you'll see that I'm a hidden psychopath because I've got my Capricorn moon on my midheaven, Mars in Scorpio, Saturn in Aries, Saturn trining my sun as well. And yeah, how it basically works is like I'm a translator. So I bring the different layers together of like the archetypes, the houses, and the planets, and they all communicate with one another, true aspects, right? So my job is to basically, yeah, translate what is written in the stars for you. And this is basically showing you, yeah, the path to your highest potential and enlightenment and the map of your highest consciousness, right? And it is a beautiful tool to gain more awareness. And it always starts with awareness because from that place, we can actually improve our decision-making process. Again, that's where the freedom of choice comes in, deciding like what is good for me and for my soul. What did my soul sign up for in this lifetime? And what is not serving me anymore? Right. And then I also like to work with transits. So this is like, on the outside, this is the transits, basically like the planets that are standing in the cosmos and how they are relating to our natal charts. So as I mentioned earlier, I use it a lot in business, but you can use astrology for, yeah, in a lot of different ways. And today we're going to dive deeper into your blueprint when it comes to love and relationships. So, yeah, is there any specific question related to what I just shared? I have a desire to go a bit deeper when it comes to like the live demonstration. So I don't want to like, you know, spend too much time here explaining how it works. But if there's any specific question related to what I shared, just know that I'm so open to receiving it. I like it when it's like interactive and engaging. So if you want to
I
mute
have
yourself, yeah,
I
sorry.
have a question for you. So
Oh,
when
go
you
for it.
think about, the relationship between love and money that occurs for so many women,
Yeah,
or it is the money that becomes, this kind of like safeguard from relationships, or there is that consistent struggle in money and relationships.
yeah.
Where do you seem to like look at that in the chart? Where do you find that? What are we looking for when we consider astrology and that
Yeah.
dynamic?
So I'm not really a big believer of like all the answers lie in just this one placement. It's like, no, the whole chart is what we're meant to bring together and translate to different layers. And you'll see, like, when we're looking at a theme, and usually it's a big theme for someone when it is, when it shows up in relationships or money or sex or whatever it is, right? We're going to look at like different significators and configurations in the chart that basically tell that story. So one placement in the chart is never going to tell a story. I could say like the first answer that comes to mind is like, yeah, looking at your Venus placement, because Venus does tell you a story about like what is your relationship to relationships, right? And to money and to self-worth, etc. 100%. But I want to go deeper. I want to see like, okay, what else is going on in the chart that is telling this story and basically reflecting that. Does that make sense?
Mhm, mhm. Yeah. No, that's great. I was telling someone just the other day who I was on a call with the way that, because when a lot of women get on a call with me, they say, that first objection is, well, you're so young. Like, how do you know these things? Yeah, how could you help me with my relationship? I'm in my 40s or 50s and I just don't
Yeah.
believe it. And when I've done my, work in astrology, I've realized a lot of that is written in my chart that at like a young age, I was going to get all that experience. And when I think about it, I had the life of a 40-year-old woman at 17 in my dating experience. I've dated more men than probably women do in their entire life. And I did it so extreme and so young and so fast. And
Hmm.
it caused a lot of problems. Absolutely.
Hmm.
Right. Like a lot of trauma, a lot of things, a lot of conditioning that came from it. But it was also like that mountain that I needed to climb to
Yeah.
have my soul purpose be fully embodied at this point in my life.
Yeah.
So I really resonate with what you say that it's not just like one place in your chart and it's looking at how it all comes together and then influences those life experiences. And I think that's
Yeah.
really what we're going to look at today is
Yeah.
those patterns and those experiences that are kind of meant to be.
Yeah. And I also believe that we all wake up in our own unique way and we're all on our unique timeline, right? And transits showcase that of like what is being activated in the chart when, right? And like, yes, in the chart, like when I look at astrology, it's a wonderful tool, but it's also not everything. I always need context. That's why I use astrology as a tool for coaching, right? I'm not a psychic. I'm not here just like only telling and speaking for hours. It's like really a conversation. And by understanding of like, where have you arrived in your life right now and how is that being reflected? Right. So it also depends on your situation, your circumstances, your childhood. Did you grow up in Africa or in America? Like that's going to be a big difference as well. Right. So, like, your circumstances are playing a massive role in terms of like how much has that potential have been stimulated by your parents, by your environment when you were growing up.
Okay, I love it. So yeah, conditioning and all
Yeah.
those things come into play with your chart and what you're supposed to basically overcome and go through, which is it's so cool to look at it through an astrological lens. Can you tell us just about your relationship, your experience with love? Because that's honestly the most exciting part of this to me.
Yes, no, absolutely. So there was something that I wanted to share about also this. Like, so before I met my baby daddy, Joe, I was dating with this American guy from Portland, and he was so sexy and big and like masculine tattoos and like chef's kiss. And then when I looked at his chart, I was like, oh my God, this is my man. Like, we're so compatible. And like, I just feel like, there's so much like energy here and potential. But that is really what it was. It was just potential. Because as I started to get to know this man a little bit better, I realized like this man is not there yet. And that's okay. That is also what astrology shows us through transits is like what season of our lives are we in right now? So again, you can have the most beautiful synastry and potential in the chart of like you and your beloved. But if your beloved is just not there, he's in a different season of life, it's just also not going to work out. Right. And then what was so interesting is like when I saw the chart for the first time of my baby daddy and my man, because obviously like we got to know each other online, and within 5 minutes I was like, I need to know your birthday details, like duh, of course. So I pulled up his chart and I was like, oh my god, there's so much earth in his chart. And I remember I was like, I don't think this is gonna work. Like he seems so boring. And then like I gave it another chance because I didn't want to, judge only based on his astrology. I was like, there's maybe something there. And then we met in person and there was just like fireworks, right? So it's so interesting that like what we see in the chart and like we can have some ideas about it and projections, but like what is happening in real life, that is also super important. Like what's the chemistry like? What's the synergy like? What's the timeline like, right? Are we like in alignment when it comes to timelines? And we were, within 8 months I felt pregnant and now we've got a baby boy and he's turning 15 months now. So yeah, and I can also see that in our transits that it was like really meant to be. Like he had significant transits going on that was like, showcasing that someone significant would come into his life. And it was the same for me. So I was like, thank you, Sky Daddy. Thank you, God.
Mm.
Thank you for delivering me my man after all these years of doing the hard inner work and like, working on my own shit and my father wound and my traumas. And I was like, oh, this is really a testament of like, this shit works. When you start taking ownership over your own wounding and yeah, take responsibility is massive, right? We do get to have like a choice and like, okay, are we choosing someone who's actually good for us, or are we just perpetuating the same cycle over and over again? Because that was part of my story. I was like attracting men similar to my father, and it wasn't serving me at all. I was like settling for breadcrumbs. So everything changed as soon as I like basically rewrote that narrative for myself.
Mm. Okay, I love it. When you then like, considering all those things that you had to, the patterns you had to shift and the traumas and the wounds that you had to heal to get into that perfect transient place for love. When you're looking at someone's chart and they're sharing with you what's going on in their love life, what patterns they're seeing over and over and over again, what exactly are you like looking at or looking for that gives you that information to share with them that will help them move that needle in their love life?
Yeah, I think like again, it would be a combination of different elements that I'll like bring together. And by having a conversation, I feel like the chart comes alive by having conversations. That's why I love like this two-way street. And it's not just like me talking. But I would say like one of my favorite things to look at to start with is really the sound node. Let me know, ladies, if you're familiar with the sound node and the north node. Drop a yes in a chat. But the sound node is basically showing you where you've been in past lifetimes, if you believe in that. It's more like talking about your karmic debts, what you're meant to release. There's no growth there, right? And especially before your Saturn return, you're like a lot of us are spending a lot of time in their sound node energy. It's actually not serving you. It's your comfort zone. Whereas the North Node is all about like, okay, where am I headed towards in this lifetime? What is my Dharma? Where do my spiritual assignments lie? And also, where does my healing lie? Right. But usually where our healing lies is also where our resistance lies. And that's the paradox. So we feel resistance. We feel like, oh, I do feel like I have to go into this direction, but it's like it's not the easiest path. So I found out about my purpose when I was 22. And I would say, like, the sooner you find out about it, again, you can align your astrology to your life decisions. You can actually improve your decision making process so that you can. Because I believe, like, when we are fully owning our chart and we are fully showing up authentically, that is when abundance will start to flow, whether that's in our love life and business, money, doesn't matter. And I have really felt that, like, I'm 27, I'm almost turning 28 in 2 weeks. I'm a Leo. Anyone else a Leo here? I really felt that like so many doors have opened up for me because I've been like showing up in a way that is in alignment with my chart. And it's the same in my love life. That's why like my man showed up when I was like 25. Right. And then I feel like it's like my life hack of how I've been able to manifest so many things at a fairly young age. And I want to thank my mom for that because my mom introduced me to astrology when I was 11 years old. Yeah, she raised me with astrology. That's why I'm also so committed and devoted to raising my little Baba. Also, looking at his chart and looking at like what is his potential without me projecting onto him what my desires are or what I want for him, what I want him to become. It's like, no, I fully want to honor him and honor his chart and activate the highest potential that his soul signed up for in this lifetime. And I think that to me is conscious parenting. So yeah, it's a little bit of
Mhm.
everything, but does it answer your question, babe?
Absolutely, absolutely. Does anyone have any other questions? If not, we'll just get right into it. Okay. Okay.
Beautiful.
So do you have anything else or do you want to get into doing?
Yeah, let's get started. Who
Okay.
would you like to begin with?
Okay. Let's look here.
And happy birthday, Naomi, fellow Leo sister. How exciting.
Okay, let's start with Julie Howland.
Is Julie here? Raise your
Yeah,
hand.
she
Oh,
is.
hi.
Okay,
Hello,
so you
hello.
can come off mute so that it's a little more interactive.
Okay, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, perfectly.
Great.
And Patel, if you want to start off and then
Oh,
I'll go after. If you want to start off with her chart, that's the first one I sent you.
yeah. Okay, perfect. I've got your details here. Julie, is this correct? Are these your birthday details? Can you just double
Yes.
check for me?
Yeah, that's the one.
Okay, amazing. Okay, so wonderful, Julie. I'm super curious. How can I best support you today? Do you have any burning question or desire to know?
I guess two main ones. First one being, yeah, love and relationships. I'm in a deep heartbreak right now and haven't gotten through my 46 years without constant heartbreak. So would love your thoughts on where I need to do my healing there and if there's anything that comes across as my sole purpose. I'm sort of looking into a career in the healing space, but would love to see if you think that aligns.
Yeah. Okay, where do you want me to start? What's your priority right now?
The love part, I guess, relationships.
Yeah. You mentioned that you went through a breakup. Is that something recent?
Yeah.
Yeah, like this month or
2 months ago.
okay. Sorry, I lost you there for a second. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I
Mhm.
can hear you.
Yeah, I don't know if it's my connection, but yeah, it is a bit of a delay. Okay, so you went through a recent breakup. Um, what would you like to know about your relationships? Is it like, why am I perpetuating this pattern? Or like, if you could specify your question, that would be really helpful for me.
Okay. Um, yeah, what is it within me that always gets rejected, I suppose?
Yeah, yeah. What part of you feels rejected?
Well, I feel very committed, and when I'm with the partners that have ended in rejection,
Yeah,
I would never have ended it, and yet they choose to, and it always seems out of the blue. I think everything's great, and then they just go.
yeah. Like they disappear?
Yeah.
Like they just run and like ghost you?
Yeah. I was engaged, and then he changed his mind and married somebody else. So yeah.
Yeah, that must have been so heartbreaking for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Like feeling like you were not chosen
Yeah.
by. by your beloved. He chose someone else.
He chose someone else, yeah.
Yeah, no, that's deeply, deeply painful. Um, so just looking at your chart, I'm just guessing, but Julie, have you struggled with patterns around codependency and people pleasing?
Yeah,
Yeah. Is that
big
something
thing.
that's familiar?
Yeah.
Yeah. So my question to you is in that relationship with with your partner who basically chose another woman, where did you not choose yourself?
Yeah, I can see because this one was a long time ago. And
Yeah,
yeah,
but it's a pattern.
I never chose myself at all. It was
Yeah.
all I thought giving to him was the biggest expression of love that I could give. That's what I
Yeah.
believed at that time.
Yeah. But you gave yourself away.
Yeah,
You weren't staying loyal to yourself.
right.
Yeah. And I think, and I assume, and let me know how this lands, that energetically there was something wrong when it comes to, or like the balance wasn't there. There was
Yeah,
no interdependency. Does that make sense when I say it like
yeah,
that?
yeah. I think he lived his life the way he wanted to live his life, and
Yeah.
I guess I was just following in his trail.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you feel like that's a pattern that you're not staying loyal and true to yourself and your desires and needs?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think this would be the first start is like by going within, right? Because our external reality is always reflecting back to us like what's going on, right? Where are we self-abandoning? Where are we not choosing ourselves? Where are we rejecting ourselves?
Mm,
I think that's where it starts. And then, the healing work starts. So you're no longer a vibrational match for men who basically put you back into that role, right?
right.
Yeah. And I think also, and I'm so curious to hear, but with the Mars and Cancer, did you also sometimes feel like you were the mother in the relationship and they turned to be the little boy?
That one, I can see that. Yeah. I think I'm quite a nurturing
Yeah,
person.
very.
Um,
I can
so
see
that,
that.
oh, okay. That
Yeah.
is a natural tendency, but yes, in
Hmm.
that situation,
Yeah.
um,
I can,
that was the dynamic. Yeah.
I can see that. Like, it's because you actually have such a big desire to receive that nurturance back and to be held. And like, it's not necessarily about the sex, it's more just about like the emotional depth and the emotional intimacy and like kind of like a symbiosis, right? Like melting into each other's arms. That's like your love language. Does that make sense?
Yeah, completely. Yeah. I don't get it back. Or I
Yeah.
mean,
And that,
in short moments I do, and that's what hooks me in,
yeah.
and then it will disappear on their side.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so disappointing.
Yeah.
Yeah. But actually, you're just angry with yourself, maybe. Could that be true?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can see that.
Because you allowed yourself to
Yes.
give so much, give, like a mother does.
Right.
Yeah. And that's where the
Yeah.
balance is a little bit off. And with the Mars and Cancer, it could also like lead to like feeling passive aggressive in relationships and feeling like resentful of like, what the fuck? What about my needs then?
I've become really aware of that in the last couple of years. Resentment is a theme, yeah. And then I realized actually I gave things that weren't asked of me and then got resentful
Yeah.
about it. But I think
Yeah.
it's that thing of if I give, I expect, I think that they will give what I give in return. And so
Yeah.
instead of just asking for what it is I actually need, so I am
Yeah. Yeah.
becoming more
So
aware.
based on your chart, I see communication plays a really big role for you in relationships, like mental stimulation,
Mm,
conversations, like that exchange is so important. And I would actually love to recommend you to go deeper into nonviolent communication. Why? Because it's so important that you create or understand the art of interdependency. So it's not just about like, what are your needs, right? And like I'm putting my needs to the side to compromise and to meet you and like to show up and give. But it's like, no, how can we show up in the middle for each other? How can I be
yeah,
a stand for what it is that I desire? but I'm expressing it in a loving way. I'm sharing my desires and also my boundaries, but coming from a loving place, not from like, you need to give this to me. You owe me this because I gave that to you, right? That's very violent. Nonviolent communication
Yes.
teaches us the art of interdependency. It's like, how can I meet your needs and how can you meet my needs? So we both feel valued, seen, and heard. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes so much sense. I think that's part of my sadness currently is in my recent relationship that just ended. I thought that's what I was doing, and I thought that's what we had so good between us.
Yeah.
And so it just leaves me sort of spiraling a bit because I think, gosh, I showed up so differently this time and
Yeah.
still the same result.
Yes. No, 100%. So I think like those would be like the biggest patterns that I see in your chart related to the mother, making sure that you're coming from equality. And being the
Mm,
mother, it's like it shows up in very like I have it all the time with my partner, and I'm like, wait a minute, I'm not going into the mother role. It could be like, oh, I really want you to start going to therapy, or I really want you to do this. Like that's the mother energy. Do you feel that? What
yeah,
happens automatically is that the man becomes the boy. And it's not really sexy to have intimacy with your mother, you know? So
yeah,
this is where we get to change the dynamic because we can't change other men, right? That's like, let them, it's on them. We can only focus on like, okay, how can I change how I'm showing up? Leading as like the queen who knows what she wants and who isn't settling for breadcrumbs. Like you meet me at the summit of the mountain. I mustn't come down my mountain to meet you, right? So I
I
think
love
there's a
that.
lot around like self-worth as well. From the moment that you start seeing how worthy you are and
Mm.
that you deserve queen treatment, you will never end up in a situation like this. Ever.
Self-worth is a big, I think that's my biggest challenge. Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
It's because Mercury is a ruler of your descendant and it's in Leo. A big theme for Leo is self worth, learning how to become your own best friend in life and not depending on other people's validation, recognition, applauding for you, but learning
Mm.
how to give yourself that recognition and validation in the first place. Because otherwise, that's where we lose ourselves in relationships.
Yeah, I think that sums me up, like my whole life just there in that sentence. Yeah,
Yeah. 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 Is this helpful, Julie?
so helpful. Yeah, it's just signposting me the parts that I need to still heal and giving me hope that if I do those things, then I can get different results. So thank you so much.
Absolutely. No, absolutely. And then I think like the last question you had was around your purpose related
Mm,
to career. Is that correct? Or just in
yeah,
general?
yeah,
Okay.
no, yeah, especially career. Yeah.
So I would definitely recommend like I do see the healer archetype in you, even working with women, something
Hmm.
with beauty, pleasure, art, self-expression, creativity, definitely, yeah. And like being the healer who shows up with integrity, who's reliable, something with mind, body, spirit, being of service, because you've got your North Node in Virgo. You've got a lot of Virgo energy. So you're very like detail focused and like
Yeah.
hard worker as well. Um, and the midhaven is in Libra in the 11th house. So also maybe something with groups, working with friends, collaborations, networks. I think that's really important. So ruler is Venus in the 10th house as well. Um, you're definitely you're actually destined to whatever path you choose, but to become an authority because Saturn is on your North Node in the 10th house. So it takes time. This is not something that has been manifested when you were 18 years old. It's like as you mature, you get more wisdom and you become an authority in what it is that you are choosing or have chosen in the past, because I don't know what it is that you do. And definitely also lots of travel and teaching and or writing and publishing involved. That's also something that I would recommend for you. Does that make sense?
Oh, amazing. Yeah, no, I can relate all of those things to what I'm trying to do now. So yeah, perfect.
Yeah, wonderful.
Thank you so much.
Amazing. Yeah, spirit fingers for Julie, celebrating you. Woo! Thank you. Thank you
Thank
so
you so much.
much for
Thank you.
sharing so openly and vulnerably. Yeah.
Thank you.
I know we don't have a lot of time, but I hope it was helpful.
Yeah, it really was.
Julie, I do have a few things that I want to add. So the first thing when I kind of like tune into this worthiness pattern that's happening, it's being held in your heart chakra. When we're in alignment in our heart chakra, we're in the embodiment of love, where when we are, it's out of balance, it is feeling unworthy of the love that we want to receive. And so I actually don't see you giving in order to get. I see you giving because that's the only way you'd be worthy. So it's a little bit, and for me, this is learned behaviors from a parent or someone very influential in your life that did the exact same thing with their partner. The people pleasing, the trying to be worthy, the trying to get more, the always giving so much in order to get anything back because that's just what they felt like is the requirement in order to be worthy. And so when I notice this, it's creating that fear for you that you're experiencing, that anxiety and that control and that insecurity in yourself and in other women and all those things because, well, one, that's going to create an insane amount of cortisol in your body. Okay.
Yeah.
Being in that state. And then your behaviors are going to match that cortisol. So you're actually going to be producing lower pheromones once you're inside your relationship, which makes sense why it feels so good in the beginning because your
Yeah.
pheromones are there and there's the connection and that vibrancy and it's easy and it's flowing. And then your cortisol spikes because now you want to be worthy because now your feelings are attached. And this could have even been a relationship you had with one of your parents of having to work for their attention, their love, them seeing you, or they just weren't around and then they didn't see you at all. And so it was this unworthiness that has been conditioned into the ways that you feel about yourself and your identity that now shows up in your behaviors on a chemical level in your cortisol. And then you're also experiencing that neurotransmitter jump all over in your relationships of really good, really not good, really good, really not good. And being in this having to earn love, what it does is it influences you to attract men who will inspire those behaviors that you're already comfortable in. So, yes, you will attract men who are willing to ghost women, who are willing to get up and leave and totally like ambush things and become disinterested. There is definitely like a side of it that is your responsibility within the relationship. But what I also see is that this pattern is attracting men who will reaffirm it for you because we have a reticular activating system in our brain that likes to prove our beliefs. So, it will attract men who will consistently show up and prove your beliefs to be true, which is that you are unworthy and they won't choose you in the end. Does that make sense?
Yes. That, yeah, makes so much sense. So it's really working on the inner belief to
So,
start
and
with.
yeah, and then that chemical pattern that's occurring once you're inside the relationship. Now, the other piece to this that I just want to let you know is that when I test for your unworthiness, a lot of fear of criticism is also coming up for me, and that's sitting very much in your throat and your ability to communicate, as Cato pointed out. Okay, so when you have that fear of criticism, you are going to shift the way that you communicate, not ask for your needs, feel like you need to give in order to receive. But what I've noticed is that when I test this, it's almost all outside of you, which tells me that this is not yours. It is actually conditioning and belief systems that you picked up by watching someone, hearing someone, resembling, experiencing someone else. And when you notice and you're intuitive and you're a healer kind of person, what will happen is you will hold. So when they have unworthiness, when they're experiencing unworthiness and you're a young person, you want to hold it for them. We're these energetic sponges. And that's how we receive love is by having these exchanges with our parents. Now, when we grow up, we can have boundaries and we can be like, you know what? No, this person's negative or this person has a lot of deep rooted insecurity. And so I'm going to put a block there. You know, my mom had a lot of body image struggles. And when I was a kid, I would just hold all that stuff for her and then I'd feel shame in my own body.
Mm.
However, now that I'm older, she says something that I find like that's ridiculous. You shouldn't say that about your body. And I have that block and I have that boundary and I say, like, don't talk about stuff like that around me, you know, because it rubs off. But when you're a kid, you hold it in order to get back, in order to receive love, attention. You will literally just carry it. And so a lot of what you're carrying doesn't even belong to you. It's not even Julie's beliefs about Julie, but they've
Right.
become that way because you've been holding them for so long. So your brain and body is trying to make sense of why you're holding that. And so it only knows you exist, your subconscious. And so it will then target that energy that you've exchanged that you're holding for people onto you. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah, I relate to that. That's my mum. Yeah, for sure.
Okay. So it would be really worth it to deep dive into mom's energy and release the things that you're holding for her.
Hmm.
Okay.
Well, thank you. Yeah, that's really powerful.
Okay.
Thank
Beautiful.
you.
All right. Who is next? Veronique is next, if she is still here. Yes, she is. Amazing. Beautiful.
It's Veronique.
Yes.
Hi.
Hi, my love. Let me pull up your chart. Let me see. Okay. Tell me, how can I support you, Veronique?
Okay. So I've had quite the interesting journey relationship-wise. Can you hear me okay? By the way, I'm testing new like earbuds today.
Yeah, no, it's
Okay,
fine.
good. Okay, good. Perfect. So I've had like an interesting journey, but my main issue that I've been attracting is that I have had a very big problem with having the men that I really like or love me back. Like they like me back, but they don't necessarily like love me back. So I've been shifting the whole like last year how I want to do relationships, like trying to
Mm,
put myself first back, to put my boundaries back, to tighten those boundaries. And yeah, like I'm currently like, I mean, there's improvement. There's definitely improvement. Like I attracted a guy that I very, very like. The only problem is that he is not emotionally unavailable, but like he's like, I don't know if I can give you exactly what you want. So he's like, I don't mind trying, like us, like see if we could like find like a common ground, something that we both like. But he's like, I don't know if I can give you what you want. Right? So I'm like, I'm I'm like, what should I shift to get that person or to get men in general that I really, really like to like me back the same amount? Or, am I on the right track right now? Like, what is it that I'm not doing? Like, what are you seeing around this?
yeah, thank you for sharing. Can you just share a little bit more, like when you notice that they are not loving you back in the same way? Um, what is my question? What strategies, or let me put it differently,
Okay.
because there's a couple of questions. Let me start there. What stories are you telling yourself related to this?
So the main story that I'm trying to shift right now is that I'm not gonna find this person.
He's not out
It
there.
like I'm just like it's not I don't like I'm like I so deserve to have this type of relationship that I want, but
Yeah,
part of me is doubting that it's actually going to happen.
yeah,
Um so, it's like I don't want anything less than, having the relationship where I love this person so much. There's like sparks, there's like butterfly, and like they have the same thing for me. Like I'm just like, I don't deserve anything less than this, and I'm not gonna settle for anything less than this. But I'm
yeah.
like, fuck, are they out there?
Do they even exist?
Where are
Where
they?
are they? Yeah, exactly. No, that makes so much sense. Question for you is, where do you feel like you get to take ownership in this whole story?
That's a good question. Um, in the past, I've done a lot of because I was liking them so much, I was literally bending myself make
Oh wait, is it me or can
so
can
I
you hear me?
wasn't like wasn't putting myself first.
Oh, oh, Veronique, I lost you there. I don't know if it was on my end or for everyone,
Yeah, I'm
but there's some buzzing with the.
I
like
think when you
someone that keeps like trying to call my phone.
oh, okay, you're getting phone calls. That's why.
I just need to block this number, I think.
Okay, do what you have to do.
Crazy. Stop. It's like not real. This. Okay, is it better?
Yeah, now I can hear you clearly. Sorry,
Okay,
can
I
you
just
please
had to
repeat
go
it again?
block that number. So I was like literally like bending myself in a pretzel. I was like, I loved it. Like, I like this person. This is like so rare that I meet someone that I feel like all the things for them. Um, so I was really like over giving.
Hmm.
Now, what I'm noticed myself, and I'm so fucking proud of myself for doing this in this current like relationship that I like this person, is that I don't overgive.
Hmm.
It's like I wait for them to come to me as much as I also do my part of the reaching out.
Hmm.
And I've noticed there's like a better communication, there's like a better understanding of boundaries of what we each need. But again, it's not perfect.
Yeah, yeah,
There's still this unavailability.
yeah. And it's probably like making you want them even more. Is that correct?
I don't know if it makes me want them even more. It makes me frustrated, actually.
Yeah, frustrated. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So, before I look into your astrology, just what comes up for me is that we can't change anyone, like similar to what I shared to Julie earlier.
Hmm.
It's not our responsibility. Like, I, if it's not there, it's not there, right? If it's not there from the beginning, and this is my belief, if it's not there from the beginning, just let it go and let them come to you because we want to like show up from this energy of like the honeypot, right? We want to
Yeah.
magnetize men and the bees to us. We don't want to be like chasing or proving or like, look, we are a great fit. And that's where we're self abandoning as well. So I think it was similar themes with the previous coaching of like, where are you still self abandoning and not staying loyal to yourself? Right? It sounds like you've already done so much work on yourself and realizing that, like, okay, I'm no longer overgiving anymore like I used to, but there's still like this desire of like wanting to be chosen, wanting to be wanted. And that's creating the suffering. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Oh, totally makes sense.
Just a question, but do you see any connection to your father in like how it shows up in your relationship patterns?
So I wasn't close with my father. Like it's not that my parents were divorced. Like he was actually like there.
Yeah.
Um, but I've I've come to realize that there's a strong possibility that my father was potentially autistic.
Okay.
Um, so it was like we weren't like close because he was not expressing himself a lot. Like it wasn't easy to talk to him or to be like
Yeah.
close to him. So we just didn't have that relationship. Like for me,
Yeah.
it was like I mean for me it was normal. Like it's not something that I ever felt that I missed in my life, but it was just normal. Like okay, me and my dad were not really talking. Like it's okay. It's
Yeah.
that's the way it is, and it's all good.
Yeah. Yeah. So where do you see the connection between your relationship with your father and the relationships you've had so far?
So there's not a lot of emotional talk.
Yeah.
Um, like my father never made me feel unsafe about myself, that makes sense, or like unloved.
Yeah.
but there wasn't a lot of like talk about like our emotions.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you feel safe with him emotionally?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I was never really good at expressing my emotions.
Yeah.
Um, but like if we were doing something together, for example, like I wasn't feeling like there was like a discomfort. Like if
Mm-hmm.
we're going to the movies, if we were
Yeah.
like you know,
Yeah.
doing like an activity together, like it was just like we were just doing it. Like it was, you know, when someone is like in comfortable silence with another person.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Of
that was
course.
me and my dad. Comfortable
Yeah.
silence.
No, and that's wonderful, right? There was like yeah, it felt like at home and that there's
Yeah.
a comfort there. Feels familiar, but what I'm talking about is like real deep intimacy. That he was the person you could go to when
Oh,
your world fell
no.
apart.
No. None of my parents are the people that I go to when my world fall apart. Fall apart, that's for sure.
Yeah. And I just see in your chart that safety is so important for you, Veronique.
Yeah.
So it starts with like creating that internal emotional safety, that landscape for yourself. Because whatever is lacking on internally is what we're looking for externally outside of ourselves. So I think this is where the work starts for you is number one, the safety piece. But I first want to ask you, how do you know, like, what does emotional safety mean to you? Because I might have a different definition.
Mm. I think emotional safety for me means being comfortable enough to share whatever it is that you're feeling with someone without having the fear that it's not going to be well received, that you're going to be judged, or in
Yeah.
case of a relationship, that it's not going to be reciprocated.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Like there's no barrier or there's no worry or fear.
Yeah,
Yeah. You
exactly.
can you can just be unapologetically and
Yeah,
your most authentic self and that will be received. That's
yeah,
what you're
exactly.
yeah. Yeah. So it's about finding that within yourself, right? Knowing the difference of like when am I feeling emotionally safe and when am I not feeling emotionally safe? And because you've got such big Cancer energy, I feel like that's such a big theme for you, right? Creating that sanctuary, that safe haven within yourself by learning how to, because emotional safety to me means also like when we're deeply connected to ourselves, right? And when we're deeply connected to ourselves, we're no longer in suffering, right? So in those moments when you're longing for like someone to like you back in the same way, you're actually not feeling emotionally safe within yourself because there's no deep self connection. Does that make sense so far?
That makes sense.
And I think like related to because you have such strong Leo energy as well is like not losing yourself as well in like the search for recognition and validation, right? Chiron is also there. That's why I also asked about your father because Chiron is in the 10th house and you're an astrologer, right?
Yeah.
How do you read this Chiron conjunct Mars in the 10th house? I'm so curious to
So
hear your thoughts.
for me, the 10th house is more like an is more about the dominant parent. Like a lot of people in the it's the father because the father is like the authority figure. But for me, the dominant parent in my family was my mom.
Okay.
So like it was my mom that was like more and more present, and there's a lot more of wounding related to not being comfortable to express myself or express my opinions or express my wants, my
Right.
needs
Yeah.
around my mom.
Yeah.
Um, or
Was
because
your
of
mom
like different.
dominant?
So my mom was like very, very like she was the authority figure in my family. Like if there was
Oh,
like
yeah.
a lot of the times like moms are just like the softer person, like are seen at the softer side of like the couple or like the couple dynamic in the family. But no, no,
Yeah.
no. My mom was like very much like the authority figure in my family. And my dad
Yeah.
was like the softer side, like, you know, if mom
Mm.
says no, dad's gonna say yes.
Yes. Okay, so what you're describing is your moon in Leo so beautifully. Obviously, like the more shadowy sides of Leo, like the dominance and the
Yeah.
self-centeredness and a sense of narcissism as well. Was that your impression of your mom?
No, so my mom was more from a traditional background. So what happened is because my mom was from a traditional background, when you're a woman,
Mm.
you're not supposed to have strong opinions. Like people don't want to hear you. Um, People want to be nurtured by you. They don't want to know what you're thinking. That doesn't matter.
Okay.
And it's a lot of the way that she's been living her own life. And for her, it was just normal. So a lot of my wounding that I think I got from really like asserting my needs and my wants was because I was taught from a young age, or the child that I was,
Yeah.
perceived that it wasn't okay for me to have opinions.
Mm. Yeah, very restricting.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Because I'm aware of time and I want to be respectful of the
Yeah.
time. Is there any specific question you have for me related to this?
I don't think so. Like my next, like, I mean, this is something that I also been curious for myself and that I'm studying
Yeah.
is like, what are the current like transits and aspect telling about my, current relationship patterns or like, upcoming journey. I'm not sure we're doing this right now. So I'm just like, I don't know. Please feel free
I'm
to like,
actually I'm actually really excited that your North Node is in the fifth house now. Your Saturn is also in the fifth house. So that's
yeah,
causing like a delay when it comes to love and relationships, right? And you just finished your Saturn return. But the
yeah,
fact that your North Node is in the fifth house, I have seen this with my clients as well, like that 18-month period, that window, there is actually a potential to like manifest like a lover, a dream partner, soulmates for sure. So I would definitely recommend like put yourself out there, but coming from a place of like magnetism. We're not here to
yeah,
chase or trying to prove, perform, which is very Leo shadow sites, right? But it's more like allow the beast to come to you, right? You're the flower, and all you have to do is just focusing on falling in love with yourself and your life. That's the only job you have. And all the rest, if it's not a full body fuck yes for them, okay, let them go. It doesn't really matter. But I think, like, again, bringing your focus back inwards and then manifesting a partner from that place and also seeing it in your chart with eclipses there, I do feel like there's definitely potential there. There's activations happening. Yeah. How does that sound to you,
awesome.
Veronique?
I mean, it sounds very good.
Are
Thank
you
you.
excited?
I'm so fucking excited. Like I started like, I mean, in the last eclipse, like it's so funny
Yeah.
because I met someone in the last eclipse, literally like the day of the eclipse that really started to change how I'm seeing myself in relationships. And it's been so exciting since then. I'm so excited.
Okay. Yeah, we have eclipse season now in September, and this is for everyone,
Yeah,
by the way. So September is going to be a pivotal time. It's going to take place in your 11th house and your fifth house.
I'm excited for
Um,
that.
yeah, I feel like eclipses are like portals that are like activations, basically, portals that are being opened and manifestations can come true. And that also means, that some people will be taking away from you. And it's just the universe showing you like, this is just not in alignment. This is not serving you.
Yeah,
So getting rid of anything that is just like not a full body fuck yes. And this is for everyone, by the way. Pay attention to now the month September coming soon to just write it down in your journal. What am I observing? What is being taken away? And what new opportunities are being presented to me? And especially for you, Veronique, it will be in the realm of love, dating, sex, romance, but also the 11th house and those themes, of course. Yeah, which is about your direction in life, your
yeah,
future, the community that you want to build. Yeah.
yeah. I'm excited about that one.
Yay, beautiful. And then yeah,
Thank
did you want
you.
to share anything that came true for you?
Yeah, absolutely. So there are just a few things that I noticed. Veronique, when you share that you are attracting these men who are somewhat unavailable to you in the way that you desire, I'm also noticing that there's like a almost like there needs to be more honoring of what you really, really want. So when because what I'm seeing in some of the things that you filled out in your form, I notice you're kind of walking into impossible relationships for yourself. And this, for you, is a way to stay safe from going into that deep realm of emotion, almost so that there's a capacity at which you can go deep with this person that keeps you safe because of these boundaries, because of these unavailabilities that exist. And so that's where you're, you really want this depth, but you're not honoring it by participating in those relationships that can't give you everything that you want. But it's also a way that you're keeping yourself safe from actually receiving what you want, because that's not as familiar when we look at your relationship with your father, which will be represented in a lot of your relationships. It's he's there, there's a connection, but it doesn't give you that deep that you need. And of course, it became something that was normalized in your childhood. So you have like a comfort zone. I know exactly what you're talking about, like being able to, when I was young, my dad and I did like everything together, and we'd be going out hunting. Like we were like really like harvesting, stuff like that. And we would go out together, and the whole drive there, we would like not say a word, and it was comfortable. I was comfortable. He's like one of the only people I can sit there and not feel like I need to say anything. But he became far more emotionally available later on in his life, as all of his daughters also prioritized that emotional availability, and that really shifted the kind of partners we attracted. And so what I want for you is to look into the way that your and especially your behaviors and kind of the relationships you're walking into and that you're available for, do they even have the capacity to give you what you want? Or are you kind of keeping yourself in these relationships that will prove to you some background belief that you can't have that, or that it's not safe? Because that's what I'm seeing, because it's that pattern of unavailability. In some way they like you, but it's not as deeply the love that you want, right? They're content with you, but it's not that depth that you're looking for. They're attracted to you, but they can't commit to you fully in the way that you're desiring. Walking into those tells me that there's something that you believe about yourself, that this is safer than what you actually want. So your brain and your body are not actually on board on a subconscious and a chemical level with the kind of love and connection that you want. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally makes sense.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's creating this cognitive dissonance where you can only attract partially what you're looking for in a man, but not all of what you're looking for. Partial of the connection, but not all of the connection. Partial validation and safety, but not all of the validation and safety that you want. And so it's blocking you. And when we're trying to manifest something, we absolutely have to have our brain and our body on board, or that's where it gets distorted. We only get like pieces that are comfortable and safe, but not the whole thing. And so I would truly consider changing your approach to dating and only entertaining situations and circumstances with people that can actually have the capacity to give you what you want, because that's what you deserve. Does that make sense?
Yeah, 100% makes sense.
Okay. Okay. Sorry if it was a little tough love. I just
No,
really
it's okay. It's
really
okay.
wanted to bring the point home. Okay, beautiful. All right. The people that we were going to go for next, I think Julie has left for a call. Or no, Julie's left for a call. We already did Julie. I was going to do Christine, but is she still here? I think she had to leave. And I'm not sure.
Mm.
You know what? Do you have time, Kato, to do just someone that is sitting in the
Yeah.
chat that would love to go?
Yeah, I do have my mastermind call fairly soon at 4:30, but yeah, definitely. Let's use
Okay.
the time we still have left. I would love
Okay.
to. If the ladies are also keen.
Okay.
Who's having fun? Drop a yes in the chat. Who's having fun? Yes, beautiful.
Okay, I actually have Naomi. I have her birth information for you. I'm gonna send that to you right now, okay, Kato?
Yes.
All
It's
right.
so interesting to like reflect upon how the relationship we had with our father, how that creeps in our like current relationships until we like bring awareness to it and like heal it.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's just it's huge.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, and I always find it's oftentimes an easier wound to work through
Yeah.
mother. Comes
Mm.
last. She always comes last,
Yeah.
but she holds a lot more power on how you feel
Yeah.
about yourself.
Yeah. And the internal emotional safety that you have, like that's where it gets installed. It starts in the womb with your mother, right? So yeah, relationship to your mother and your father play a massive role for certain. Yeah.
Okay. Did you get her?
Oh, did you send it to me? Sorry.
It's on Instagram. I just, because then I could just send it all in one go.
Here. The last one you sent it to me?
Yes, the
Oh,
most.
but Naomi left.
Oh, I think she's here. I can see her.
I'm here.
Oh,
Christina.
really? Oh, Naomi, are you still here? Were you gonna go? Or...
No,
Okay, perfect.
always here.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure so we're not losing you. The 29th of, but maybe I still have you in my system. Let me actually have a look.
I can also write it if you want, or
Yeah. 29th of July, right?
1995, 3:45 a.m.
Amazing, my love. So do you have any question?
Can I see the chat? Oh yeah, okay.
There we go.
Yes, I have a few patterns I noticed. One, like in the last few years, in 2018, I had like a big breakup. Um, the guy that I think I ever loved the most and felt like this is the man of my dreams. We have the most
Yeah.
amazing relationship. I think his Venus was conjunct my South Node, whatever, past lives. He
Oh, wow.
like broke my heart and left me for someone else, like from one day to the next. And then
Yeah.
since then, all of the guys I engage with, I feel like I know they're not for me. And but I realized this quite soon. I haven't had a relationship that has gone over like let's say 5 or 6 months since then, since 2018. I tend to
Okay.
break. I have broken up with all of the men since 2018 until today because at some point I realized that I don't know, as an astrologer, I see this like Venus opposition with my Neptune, and I'm like, okay, I go into some kind of cloud um where maybe I'm putting them on a pedestal or I'm not really seeing the red flags and I feel like, oh, this is it. I want to
Mm-hmm.
make it work. And then one day
Yeah.
I'm waking up and I'm like, oh, this is so not what I want. And this not work at all. And
Yeah.
it's like not even, I wasn't even like allowing myself to have what I want. And I think it's
Mm.
because I mean, I could be wrong, but what I realized half a year ago was, oh, I got so hurt from when I did have what I want and I was left that the safest thing for me was to go with these men who really want me and
Mm-hmm.
they're really in it, but I end up easily rejecting them in the end because that way I'm like less hurt, maybe quote unquote. I don't know. So I don't allow myself
Yeah.
to like go for what I really want. That's like one of the patterns, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's the one that's been the most repetitive lately. The only exception is like 2 months ago, I guess I met for the first time ever like a narcissist, but like it took me about like a month and a half to realize, and then I cut it because I realized, okay, this is not for me. Um, and
Yeah.
now I'm currently like dating someone, but I already know it's not what I want, and but he's like
Mm.
really doesn't respect my boundary. It's been really hard to like get rid of him, quote unquote, because I don't want to ghost someone. And I try to explain that I just feel that we might not be, like a match and that I want different things. And I'm not asking him to be what I want. Like it's okay if he wants something else, but he keeps on insisting and like calling.
Yes.
And I just don't know how to, I'm not a like a blocker type of person, but I'm like, do I need to block him or
Yeah.
and why is it that I keep on attracting men who like really want me, but I don't feel they're quality men, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Beautiful question. So, based on what you shared, I do see this as a pattern here with your Venus opposing Uranus and Neptune, but you're already aware of that one, right? It's like Uranus is like unpredictable, sudden change, like sudden breakups, and like suddenly someone new comes and enters your world. It's like very up and down your love life. And then Neptune is like putting them on a pedestal, like, oh, they're my God, they're amazing. It's my baby daddy, right? And then like you're falling in love with potential.
Yeah.
So making sure that you're not wearing your rose tinted glasses, right? And seeing them for who they really are and slowing things down. I think that's going to be really important to not be like, oh my God, this is it. Let's get married, da, 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 and like fantasizing about all these like, stories and scenarios that can happen, but really taking your time. So I think that would be the main thing is slow the fuck down, right? There's no hurry and get to know them for who they really are and let them prove them to you. I really feel like the masculine inherently likes to do that. They like to fight for it. I always say, like, may the best man win. And I'm the prize, honey. I'm the prize.
Yeah, and you step
Right. So
into that
how would it,
one.
yeah, how would it be for you to like have that mentality and step with that energy into a relationship?
I've been trying actually. Like, I feel like I made that switch recently, and yet this guy,
Yeah.
he is questioning all of that. And it's
Yeah.
it's so triggering in a way because, like, for example, one thing he said is, I don't like to pick a girl up and drop her off. Like, this is, and I broke my leg now. So, like, I'm like, how are you gonna date me if you're not willing to even like pick me up and drop me off, even when I'm with a broken leg? Because forget if I could drive and I still wouldn't accept
Yeah.
it, But like that to me was like, I finally got to the place where I'm like, I'm the price. And then I get someone who's like every step of the way questioning, are you the price? You're not
Yeah.
worth it. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
touch in my ways.
Yeah.
Like, he just wants to
Yeah.
be how he is and that I get comfortable. And I'm like, I'm not your girl. I keep on telling him,
Hmm.
I'm not your girl. I want my provider man, and you're not a provider man. Not even in
Yeah.
the minimum.
Yeah.
People
So
invite me
what,
to travel
why?
in March, but he
Yeah.
can't commit to a weekend, like to meeting me one in the weekend. I'm like, why would I say yes to travel with you in March? You don't even want to like pay for the trip, even like at
Yeah.
all.
Yeah.
I don't know. Very,
So why is there still a part of you that wants to entertain this connection with him?
I really don't. I just don't know how to um it's weird because I feel like I spent 2 weeks almost every day going back to my point that I feel this isn't gonna work. And every
Yeah.
day he goes back to calling me and I really, really like you. And I'm like, okay, great, but I don't think we're a match. And he even showed up in my house suddenly. Like, it was very like, can you please respect it? And I think he touches on my on a wound of mine maybe, or
Of
suddenly said,
course.
um oh, don't be disrespectful, what, you're gonna leave it like that? And I think he touches on my like good girl wound or something where
Yeah.
yeah, I need to be like
Mm.
respectful and nice because I don't know, I guess maybe it's my ego that can't be like the villain of his story or something. I need to give myself permission to maybe block him actually and just
Yeah.
be like, I asked you to stop and you
Yeah.
know, I don't
Yeah.
know.
I think this might be your Mars in Libra who wants to keep the peace at all times and like who
Yeah.
wants to make sure that like there's harmony, etc. But meanwhile, you're self-abandoning. So I don't think you have to be the villain. You don't have to be so um intense or extreme of like blocking him. I think it's just a matter of like your communication and sharing this in a non-violent communication way where
Mhm.
you're stating your boundaries and your desires and like what needs are not being met in this relationship,
Mhm.
right? Because as long as you keep the door half open, he's going to feel that. He's going to like want to like, hey,
Right.
and the energetics behind it is not clean. So there's no space for your soulmate man to arrive in your life when that door is still like half open, half closed. Does that make sense?
That makes a lot of sense.
So what would a woman who deeply honors herself do in this situation?
I think she would communicate again one more time, being very clear. And if he tries to call me or anything, just not answer and just, I
Yeah.
said what I said and not
Yeah.
go back on my word and
Yeah.
just not more of my energy,
But
you know.
also trust that you can be clear and loving at the same time. You
Yeah.
don't need to block him or like, fuck you and no, you can be loving and clear at the same time. That's a boundary. Like, I'm loving myself and I'm loving you. That's why I'm closing this container with so much care and love, so that someone new can appear in your life, someone who's a better fit for you, because I really want that for you, right? So just a tip, go to a ChatGPT and say like, okay, say what you want to write, the message. Basically, you can say it in your own language, fuck you, and then ask ChatGPT, turn this into non-violent communication. I think that would be a first great step. Yeah. Yeah. Is this helpful?
Yeah, very much.
Yeah. So interesting how other people just highlight the parts of ourselves that we haven't healed and fully integrated yet. Right. So it's not on them. It's actually on us. It's like we're angry with ourselves. Like, fuck, this is so confronting because I haven't healed this part of me. There's still a part of me that wants to be the good girl and wants to be liked and wants to receive the attention. Right. Meanwhile, like the adult version of you is like, I know he's not good for me, but little you is like, but it's just so nice to like receive his messages and like I'm seen and but it's an illusion, right? Doesn't have long-term potential.
Yeah, I think he like tries, but there's just certain things that I know that I want that he's just not willing. And so I even told him, why would I waste my time in the end of the day? Like I can appreciate him trying, but I don't want to hurt him and be like, you're just not good enough, because it's not really about that. It's just we're not a match.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
What need is not being fulfilled in this relationship?
well, for starters, I think he started off, um, I just felt really not respected in many ways, many painful ways that really did touch a lot of my wounds. And he did end up like apologizing and all, but it's like every time I share with him vulnerably something that maybe he hurt me, he then might apologize and understand, but then he like again, I think it's just there's something that is not like resonating with me in his style. Maybe there's like many things that I do like, and I think the past version of me would grab onto that and try to make it work and just only see
Yeah.
that. But I think because I'm somewhere a bit more healed, I can see
Yeah.
the red flags and the ways that I would have to compromise so many of the things I desire. And
Yeah.
I'm just not willing to anymore. I think I've done so much of that in the past,
Yeah.
and now
Yeah.
I don't want to,
Yeah.
so.
That's beautiful. I'm celebrating your awareness around this and what I'm hearing you say, because respect is not a need. Respect is very subjective. Respect to me can mean something completely different than for you,
Right.
right? So, and when I'm translating it into nonviolent communication terms, is like a desire for being taken seriously, a desire for being heard, being seen, being honored, being celebrated, and also a sense of care, that there's more care and like serenity, like that soft, gentle energy. Is that correct?
Yeah.
That you miss that from him right now in this relationship?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel, yeah. I just feel also like in a way he just kind of wants the benefits of being a boyfriend without really making any effort, you know? So
Yeah.
not into that. And
Yeah. Yeah. Beautiful. I think you got clarity for yourself. You know exactly what to do.
thank you. Thank you,
Yeah.
Kata.
Was this helpful, Naomi?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Beautiful. Spirit fingers. Wee. And then Leah, I don't know if you wanted to share something as well.
Well, Naomi and I have a call booked, so I'm actually going to reserve it for then and be mindful of time because I want you to share the bonus and then, of course, your giveaway because I know your time is running out as well, Kato. So, ladies, Kato is a part of the Attraction Lab. She is a big part of the bonus that I am giving away when you pay in full for this Attraction Lab. And I want Kato to share this, and then I'll, of course, share my bonus. And you can also go ahead and share your giveaway.
Beautiful. Yeah, Leah and I, we both share a lot of Leo energy. So we just love giving gifts. It's a true love language. Yes, thank you so much, ladies, for being here. I hope it was helpful. Please drop your biggest takeaway in the chat from those transmissions. Maybe something that was being shared, you felt resonance, and we would so love to hear it. And I would also love to invite you, if today was fun for you to be part of, please share it on your stories and tag us. Tag me, Kat Caitlin, as well as Liam, Goddess of Love. And I will choose one winner based on who shares today. The deadline is end of today. And you will basically receive a business blueprint reading from me. So we talked about relationships, but as you know, business and money, that's really my expertise and my zone of genius. That's what I do all the time inside my mastermind, is really connecting astrology to business and how we can, open up that money tap. So that is the giveaway. But if you are signing up for Leah's beautiful container, you will also receive a bonus call with me, where we're going to go deeper into your blueprint. So today was a taster, of course. There's so much more to explore. I feel like with astrology, it's truly never ending, and there's so many directions we can take, right? And then in that reading and in that coaching call with me, you will also receive your soul purpose reading and also your transits for this year. So you can exactly align your life, your business, your relationships, whatever it is that you're calling in right now, you can align that, right? And know exactly like, okay, when to take action, when to put myself out there, when to rest and fully honor yourself. Because at the end of the day, we want to live a life where we're fully honoring ourselves, right? That's my philosophy. And this is valued at $1,000. So we are giving that to you, ladies. And yeah, Leah, I would love to give the mic back to you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much, Kato. If you have to hop off, do not worry about it.
Yeah.
So ladies, this is the pay in full bonus that we have right now for when you join the Attraction Lab. This bonus runs out on Friday, end of day, along with the bonus for anyone who signs up. If you do the pay in full or the payment plan, you also get 4 weeks inside a Love and Mind mastermind with me on Telegram. So this means that you have audio support and tech support with me in a small group of women, where daily you can drop in with conversations you're having with men, with the specific man you're talking to, with your dating debriefs or your dating prep, or you can bring in the specific beliefs that you acknowledged and noticed inside this container, and you are aware, this is what's blocking me, this is what's blocking my love, or even discovering those beliefs that you want to switch. And we will be implementing the Farragut method and the modality itself to release others' energy, release those beliefs and that conditioning that has shaped you from not being 100% yourself in your love life. And so then you're not attracting men who are 100% your match. Okay, so this is 4 weeks of getting a jump start into the program with personalized support. Very, very deep, very exciting. You get to ask all the questions and you receive like right away feedback. I'm so excited for this mastermind. They're so freaking powerful. So anyone that signs up is going to be inside that 4-week mastermind. And if you pay in full, you get to also work in an incredibly intimate and powerful way with Kato. Okay, I'm going to be dropping the link, and you will also be able to grab all of this information in your email. And I am going to be giving away in the email I send out the Attraction Lab. So if you haven't yet posted on your story or your Facebook page and invited people to join this event, you still have about an hour to do that. I will see that you did it, and you get a chance to win the Attraction Lab without the bonuses, just the Attraction Lab. Yeah. Okay, ladies. All right. Thank you so, so much.
Yay!
And I will.
Spirit fingers. Woo. Was so amazing. Thank you so much, my love, for having me. It
So
was
much.
wonderful.
Oh, you're amazing. I really, really appreciate you. And have a great day, everyone.
Bye.